Get wrecked, bitch.
Sup guys, Record Easy, back at you with another My Hero Academia video, and today is actually a special day. It's the first episode of Hero Talk. That's right, a new segment that's going to be here on the channel. And you know, I kind of just want to sit down face to face with you guys and talk about my hero. And as you read the title, today we're going to be talking about the joint training arc, because I feel like that arc doesn't really get its just desserts, you know? Because like on Twitter, I've seen a lot of people saying the joint training arc is mid, the joint training arc is bad, it's a waste of time, the pacing was horrible, the storytelling was bad, and a whole plethora of things, you know? And that's cool. Everybody's entitled to your opinion, which is why I wanted to create the segment so I can voice my opinion. And you know, you guys get down in the comment section and tell me what you guys thought about the arc, some things you did like, some things you didn't like, and we could really just have an open dialogue about it, you know? That's really what I want this channel to be. Whether it's My Hero Academia or like other shonen or anime or manga that I choose to tackle in the future. But you know, I really want to just be face to face with you guys and talk, you know? But you know, that's enough rambling. Let's get on to it. But the reason, well, first off, like, one of the big things I think Horikoshi did really well with this arc was like the return of Shinzo. Shinzo, I feel, is such like a wild card character, you know? He made that debut in the sports festival fighting against Deku. And it's just like Horikoshi does like such a great job of setting up characters, because like when you hear his quirk, which is like brainwashing, like Horikoshi did such a great job of just playing into that. Like everybody in his middle school and like other classmates was like, yo, that'd be such a badass villain quirk, this, that, the third. And Shinzo was like, nah, like I want to be a hero. But his quirk is very powerful. Like if you talk to him and like if he talks to you and you reply, you get brainwashed and he could tell you what to do. That could lead to a plethora of scenarios. Like Horikoshi has like every quirk has like a setback or a draw or a flaw to it. Shinzo's is like the quirk is if you get hit hard enough, you break out. And sports festival, Deku and Shinzo during their fight, Shinzo actually brainwashes Deku, but the vestiges for One for All actually break Deku out. And I feel like this arc was so like One for All centric towards the end that it was such a nice callback to bring back Shinzo for this arc, for the joint training arc. So that way when Deku gets involved with the vestiges, that Shinzo has to be the one to take him to that place, because One for All and Black Whip starts acting up and all that madness. And then we get the reveal that Shinzo has been training with Aizawa the whole time, Eraserhead. And I think that's such like a peak like character relationship, I feel like, because they're really the same guy almost. And like they're both like whatever, you know, they both always look fucking tired. And they both have like powerful quirks, but they're not powerful combat quirks. Like Shinzo, in my opinion, is a powerful ensemble piece. Like for instance, like when they were that first matchup where it was Froppy, Kirishima, Kaminari, Koda, and Shinzo against those guys from Class B, and Kirishima got knocked out by the Beast guy, and Sue got hit by the Beast guy. The Beast guy was fucking everybody up. That guy is a fucking cannon, and it makes you wonder. Tangent. All right, go tangent. Get back on focus here. But Shinzo's quirk was like, yeah, like everybody was getting fucked up, and Shinzo with his hero gear that he got made from Hatsume or the support course, I presume. Like the vocal, I forgot what it's called exactly, but the voice changer he has, again, that's such like a peak ensemble piece because he could talk to you without you knowing it's him because he could change his voice, and then boom, you're brainwashed. And like Shinzo is so, it's just so peak, I feel like. And maybe I'm coming off as like a fanboy, but I just see like the potential in like the bigger hero society, I guess. Like after graduation, and like Shinzo may not be like a cool, like he like Eraserhead. Like we saw at the USJ, Eraserhead has trouble going against like very like powerful guys, you know, because like cool, he can erase someone's quirk, but if somebody's like still physically stronger and can physically like impose themselves, I know that Nomu was like a special case because that Nomu was like all might strong, but still it's like Deku said during the UHA, Aizawa was good in like hit and run scenarios where he could like turn off your quirk, pop out, fuck you up, and then take off. And I feel like Shinzo was that same way. Like if you don't know his quirk ahead of time and he could get you to like say something back to him, it's raps. Like you're brainwashed, that's GG. But like if you know what Shinzo's quirk is going into that confrontation, Shinzo's really had an option. So I think that was such a great thing to bring Shinzo back and have him train with Eraserhead who's similar to him in that situation, well, in that regard. And then to have Shinzo learning how to use the binding claws, so awesome, I feel like. And then we got like more of like an explanation, I feel like, of Shinzo's quirk. Well, not even like, I feel like we literally got a better explanation of Shinzo's quirk, and that he can make you do things. Like if you know, like write Froppy, and then you can write Froppy, but he can't make you say like, oh, write that frog girl's name if you don't know the frog girl. Like he can't make you do something that you don't know how to do already, I feel. I butchered that explanation, but I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comment section. But this arc, I feel like one of my favorite things about this arc is like Class B, like as a whole, because like throughout the series, like let's be real here, guys, up until the joint training arc, they really just felt like the other hero class. Like none of them felt like their own people, you know? And it was so cool to see a lot of them get fleshed out. Well, not fully fleshed out, but a lot of them get developed. Like we got that rivalry between Momo and Kendo. That's I don't know how I forgot her name, but Kendo and Momo, like they had that really weird work study, not even the work study, the fucking work study together where they were with Iwabe, the snake hero, and they were really just like models and her secretaries for the most part. And I felt like that easily could have been just like some throwaway thing, but Horikoshi decided to turn that into something like meaningful and impactful, because Kendo was feeling like everybody was comparing her to Momo, and Kendo really wanted to be seen as like her own person, so she took it upon herself to make Momo her rival. And you really got to see like the clash of like the planners, so to speak, because like when their teams were going against each other, Kendo had the plans, man. Like they were giving it to Class A, and you peeped Shoto. Shoto was like, no, my girl Momo is not gonna go down like that. So it's so like, to me it just makes me like happy to see these interactions, you know? Like Class B, just like I said, they just felt like the other hero cores, and nobody really felt like they had like drive or like personality. Like you had like Tetsu and his like brief intermissions, Monoma, Kendo here and there, but we really got more from everybody else, you know? Like the skeleton looking guy who can like his quirk softening, which he could touch the ground and soften. Like he came in, you cannot tell me he did not come in clutch at the end of the Tetsu versus Shoto fight. And that's another thing, like Tetsu versus Shoto, like that for me was like big, you know? Big, because Shoto is like, he's a main character of the series, and Tetsu is really like a side character. he's not a factor, and it's like, for him to get that kind of a spotlight in like a really big fight. Well, I wouldn't say really big, but in like a main stage fight against like a top tier character like Shoto, is huge in my opinion. Because that's like saying Kiba versus Sasuke. That shit never happened. Like you would never have a character of Sasuke's tier going against a Kiba. But we got that in My Hero, and I'm not trying to put My Hero on this pedestal. My Hero means a lot to me, but it's not perfect. It has flaws like any other manga or shonen or anime. It's not perfect, but in my opinion, I feel like Horikoshi does a very good job of keeping characters relevant, and he does a good job of like introducing characters bit by bit, and then keeping them involved in the story at different times in different ways. And I for one really appreciate that, because for a guy like Tetsu, we get, like, hearing somebody's been training is like one thing, but to see him like not back down, and like he says, like if I'm not willing to give my all here in this training match and put my life on the line, how could I ever be expected to do that out in the field? And that is just so peak in my opinion, you know, because he's going against Shoto, like the guy everybody knows who's at the top of Class 1A. He's supposed to be like the strongest of like, I guess the rookie, well not rookie, freshman in the hero course. Well, him and Bakugo, I guess. But like Tetsu didn't back down. He didn't give an inch at all. And it's just like, that to me was spectacular. You know, like just to see how much he's improved. Everybody in Class 1B. And like an interesting thing that got brought up in my opinion is the fact that, yeah, Class 1A has had all these like world experiences with all these villains, but the fact that Class 1B has had time to just, you know, be in the classroom and study their curriculum and like develop their strategy toward combat really showed like the difference between the two classes. Like Class 1A is seen as like these rock stars who take on villains like seemingly often, but Class 1B doesn't really get that recognition. They're always like in the background, never really in the forefront of like the hero course. Because like they even say that in the sports festival, Tetsu was like, yeah, this whole sports festival ended up as a Class 1A showcase. And I'm glad like Horikoshi like didn't just use that as like a throwaway, like, you know, like some side comedy line. Like he really kept that in like Class 1B's like head, and everybody in Class 1B felt tired, you know, tired of being seen as like background characters, tired of being seen as like the secondary hero course, tired of being seen as not legitimate heroes on the rise, which they all are, I feel like. Because like the argument could easily be made that there's a lot of people in Class 1B that definitely should be in Class 1A over a lot of the Class 1A students. Like, let's be real here. The beast guy with the beast quirk, Mineta? Mineta's my guy. He's pretty funny. I love him as like comic relief, but when we're talking about a combat situation, like the beast guy took out Kirishima. He helped bring down Koda in like one hit. He knocked down Sue for a little bit, but Sue rallied and got back into it and helped bring home the W in that first match. But yeah, the guy puts in work. How he can like shift from being this big hulking beast and to go back into like his more slender humanoid form on like the drop of a dime. It's awesome. And then the I forgot her name, the girl with the vine hair, she was like going hard. Like every time we seen her, whether it was the sports festival or the joint training arc, she goes hard every time. And it's just like so much happened in this arc, but I kind of want to like bounce through the few things really quick because this video is already getting long enough. But Bakugo's development, like we got the continuation of Bakugo's character, of him learning how to work with his peers and his classmates, like that, like win by saving people is what All Might told him, and he's starting to put those kinds of things into motion, and you know that really, that's really just so peak. Like him and Deku are like at this place of like understanding. They're friends. Friends is not the word. Listen, Bakugo is a savage. The only friend Bakugo has is Kirishima, and that's probably always only going to be like the only like legitimate friend he has. I mean, Kaminari being there too with them. So I mean, yeah, those two. But it's just like seeing Bakugo go ham, but like working with his team was so awesome. And it's just like there are so many moments, but if there are things that I have to point out about the arc which aren't the best, I'd have to say is the pacing. The pacing for this arc, Horikoshi was dealing with the illness during this arc, so it was like the amount of pages we got were cut down to like 14, 13 sometimes. But I'm definitely gonna do a part 2 to this video because this video is getting kind of lengthy, and you know I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. But I really appreciate you guys coming through. Be on the lookout for part 2. I'm Reezy. You guys just got wrecked. Thanks for coming. If you enjoyed this video at all, be sure to leave a like, a comment, and hit the subscribe button. You know, Wreck It Reezy here. Peace.